Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you America's top foundational health coach, Dr. Joe Dee.
Hey there, I'm Dr. Dee Baer, your health coach, holistic nutritionist, healing practitioner. But today and this evening, I come to you as the host of Healthopedia 365, our YouTube channel, bringing health, wellness, healing, and hope to you, our listening audience. It is a privilege and a delight and an honor to have you here each and every Thursday on Life's Milkshake Moment, because you know, life is like a milkshake. Choose your ingredients wisely, and when you do, life will be oh so sweet. And this is a sweet, sweet broadcast today. For those of you that don't know me, I had the privilege for 4 decades to have a brick and mortar practice where in this practice, 35,000 client patients, and I'm honored to say that I supported them in 1.1 million pounds of toxic fat lost with a 5% recidivism rate. And what did I do to the heart of the matter? And you'll hear about that in just a moment, of bringing the heartbeat of 1,876 children to couples that just didn't think the miracle of childbirth would be their calling. In fact, I've gotten calls, probably since COVID, we got out of COVID these last 6 years, that's said, now I'm a Dr. Grandma Jody, which is just a delight that you keep up because it's relationship. You're going to hear relationship is what this call is all about, is true, the heart and the matter and relationship. How do we do that? With the 6 pillars of healthy living. Spiritual. Then we go after spiritual is mental, because it's a mindset, which is your skill set. Then we go to emotional, because your emotions are in the heart of the matter. Then it's physical, financial, and social. And what I can say, it is just a beautiful thing when we have this. You've heard of 6 degrees of separation. Well, I believe this is 2 degrees of separation. When you bring 2 frequencies together, those 2 degrees of separation become 0 degrees. That's what our guest here today, Debs Simpson, brings to our Life's Milkshake Moment. She has built her own incredible life milkshake, not once, not twice, several times, a serial entrepreneur. But speaking of 2 degrees of separation, I certainly want to give a shout out to the core of this, Tony Dreammaker Doty. You know, before we know it, we will have our debut of the Art of Manifestation film in, 7 weeks. 7 weeks after we get done with Aruba, we're going to LA to the Quantum Downtown Spa. The Quantum Spa is one of a kind. It is an all-natural rooftop spa, and we will be debuting on the red carpet, the Art of Manifestation film. I'm just honored that I've got a small part in it, because we all manifest something. So stay tuned for more details. Next week, I will have a video to share. But today, I want to come back to how we met Debs Simpson. It was a spiritual connection. What I loved was her mindset when we were in the Hamptons. It was a mindset that was just, it meshed like Forrest Gump says, peas and carrots, peanut butter and jelly, for real, for real. And when you have those kind of special relationships, our beautiful Healthopedia author, Dr. Nefertina Serrano, says, when time meets destiny, miracles happen. This is a miracle here yet tonight. And a miracle, I would be remiss if I'm not saying, and by the way, still in the top 100 of Amazon bestsellers, Eric Zender, thanks to Dreammaker Jody as well, are quintessential quotes and quips for healthy living by the quote master himself, Eric Zender, and all 86 of our Healthopedia authors. Just pick up your copy on Amazon today, or go to my website, drjodee.com, and you can get an autographed copy. But without any further ado, I am going to just say, we're going to Aruba. Obviously, that's what this is all about. And knowing that one of our sponsors is my partner, Healthopedia, none other than Dr. Jim Marinakis. Let's hear, let's experience, see, and just internalize just what is the process. Here it is.
The main reason I believe people's health is declining globally is because they don't do the things every day that they need to maintain themselves. They don't walk enough, they don't get enough nutrients, they accumulate way too much stress. They don't expose themselves to nature. They work under artificial lights that damage the rods and cones of their eye, their brain, disturb functions of their liver. Everybody wants to be free from disease, and they want to enjoy a long and happy life. At the Personal Performance Institute, we teach you how to do exactly that. It starts right in the beginning. The very first things you'll do, which are simple instructions, will improve your health, and they will make you feel better about yourself. Not believe that you feel better about yourself, but actually feel better about yourself. That's what the Personal Performance Institute can do for you.
This is one of my partner with Healthopedia, Dr. Jim Marinakis' company's Personal Performance Institute. But we're going to learn the process, those daily things. What are we going to be doing in Aruba? The same thing we did in recreating Crete. We're doing it with awareness, alignment, and abundance. When you're aware and you feel better, you do better. And when you can live your life from a savings account and not a checking account, what will happen? Two, not only increased intelligence, greater performance, but absolutely extended quality of life and longevity. That's what we're doing here in Aruba. Check it out, March 20th, 22nd to the 30th. We leave an extra day because we're going to have a little fun for real. So here is the landing page. We have 3 seats left, 3 registrations because we tap it out at 30. Are you the right person? Maybe. Let's just see. But I know the right person is really here today, because when we met, it was one of those things that you just know. You know that you know that you know. And that's what I felt about Debs Simpson. She was an extraordinary, just had extraordinary energy when we met. And I know when you meet someone, isn't it interesting? You said, we're going to be fast friends for a long time. And that is what has happened with us. We have collaborated just like we've known each other since college. I can say without a shadow of a doubt that Debs is a one-of-a-kind, entrepreneur. What is she? Well, she's that kind of an entrepreneur because she's done it over and over and over again. She is this type of a woman who, when she does something, she does it with excellence. She's a serial global entrepreneur in the medical device space. And right now it is about the heart. This month is Heart Awareness Month. What a perfect thing. That's why I wore red today, because she's done this over and over. And now, 6 medical startups, not 1, but 6. We got to go on the other hand here, including 2 IPOs. Now, if any of you know anything about this, it is not something easy to do when you say, oh, I'm going to do a startup like this. That's one thing. But how about sustain it to IPO? So you have to dot the I's and cross the T's. That takes a special one-of-a-kind skill set, not crossing the I's and dotting the T's. Detail, performance, talking about personal performance institute. She is one person that has this performance down. She's an active C-suite executive, CEO, COO, and consults not just her own companies, but if she's a consultant to IPOs, she knows her stuff. I mean, for real. She's active in leadership. And I can say that she has done 3 billion. I didn't say M with a mama, like Mama Bear. No, B with a bear. $3 billion in M&A and multiple, as I can say, IPO. I can say IPO, way to go. But Debs is as humble and heartfelt as she is a pit bull and a mindset guru in the boardroom. You will hear and feel this from the boardroom to every room. But right now, she's in the StreamYard room, and I am so grateful and delighted to bring up CEO of SeeMedX, Debs Simpson. Welcome, Deb.
Well, Dr. Jody, I can't thank you enough. That was just an incredible introduction, and I really appreciate it. So thank you.
Well, I specialize in introductions of people I love.
Oh.
So let's just love on your story, Debs. Let's just love on, back when I was a child, whatever you want to say. You just don't grow up and say, oh, I'm going to do IPOs and I'm going to be a C-suite and a serial global entrepreneur in the medical device company. How did you go from there to here?
The reality is it's a challenge. Okay. And if anyone says being an entrepreneur is easy, they don't know what they're doing. You have to get this pit in your stomach. Okay. You're always going to run out of cash. But I've pretty much positioned my life on fun. I started at Procter & Gamble, learned many, many basics, just an incredible opportunity. And then I went on to be a consultant to venture capital and startups and entrepreneurs between the two. And I can say my career after Procter & Gamble was work. Okay. You had to learn. But after that, coming into Silicon Valley, and I was there for 25 years, the most brilliant people. Okay. And
if you were with those brilliant people, you fit in. But I want to come back to, how did you even land at Procter & Gamble?
Procter & Gamble, I mean, I have strong credentials. I was at the top of my class. I've always just worked really hard. I'm severely dyslexic. Okay. So I didn't even know that until I was in my 30s. I just knew that I had to learn differently than everyone else. But it's all about passion. When you have passion for helping mankind and you have passion for making it different, never worry about the money. Okay. Because it's not about money. It's about following your heart. Okay.
And heart being Heart Awareness Month. You follow your heart, the money will come. You follow your passion. Exactly. But you know what I say about severe dyslexia? Because I too am dyslexic. Mm-hmm. And my mother put me in front of music, so I had to read from left to right, and I took off. But it's the dyslexic people that the IQ is a little bit higher. Okay, it's a proven fact that we're more intelligent because we have these unstructured mind. Let's hear it for an unstructured mind. Okay.
When we met, it was just, it was such a powerful connection, Dr. Jody. We actually met on a yacht in the Hamptons. And,
yes.
It just, I came around from the restroom and there she was. And it was like, I feel like I've known you my whole life. And I'm telling you, it's
our dyslexic structured brain. So let's go back to this. You found out you were dyslexic. I'm in the heart of Procter & Gamble doing this CEO thing. It mattered not. You just have to learn differently. So how did you find the Silicon Valley situation? I mean, that's a big nest.
Oh, I'm telling you, it was the most enjoyable experience ever. I got very lucky. When I went into Silicon Valley, I became the first member of the worldwide technology team for Arthur Andersen.
Wow.
The reality was, it sounds really impressive, but I was a sacrificial lamb. I was the bridge between the startups and the capital, because the venture people were giving all the money and Arthur Andersen was making all the money, but they weren't, companies were going bankrupt. It was a very sad time.
But you were making money. They had the stock, everybody had, but you didn't have the money. And when was that this was going on?
Oh, do I really have to say that? I don't want anybody to know how old I am.
Of course. Well, guess what? Next week I'm going to be 72. So it's all beautiful.
Yeah. No, it was in the 80s. I left Procter and Gamble, I think in 81 or 82. And from that, I just can't even express the experience that you have in terms of helping companies. And it's not like you're that smart, but Arthur Andersen was a tremendous, powerful source in learning. Okay, and they gave me the list why companies fail, and I had to apply that list to I had probably 20 companies, of which we only lost one of my companies, just so you know.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, and but it was they said you're not shy. And you've got a lot of experience, and you're not afraid to raise your voice in a boardroom and tell the company, work with them to get them to, if there's an inventory build, if there's, a cash flow issue down the road, you can see it in advance. Okay. As a CPA, that just kind of built into you to understand that kind of stuff. But it's a lot more than that. Your marketing is always your driver. But it's been all about helping mankind. My passion was ignited in the late 90s, 98, when I helped found SurgeRx, which is basically a radio frequency scissors that cuts out organs. Okay, it sounds complicated, but it was very complicated. But we sold that to
radio frequency, so you don't have to do something invasive. So that really,
exactly.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
You cut out everything from infection. The seal is perfect. They stitched it, and we replaced the stitching with a very, easy equipment and using technology to help mankind. That's what, if I had to say my total passion, it's using technology to help mankind. In fact, my existing company would be gone if I hadn't come in and saved it.
Because you use your passion, and also you use your absolute skills, not only your brilliance, but your feminine, unleashing the feminine soul, like our second book on women's health talk. Mm-hmm. I saw you command attention, whole court, with 6 of the most amazingly powerful men at dinner, and they were all looking to you. And all I can say is good things come in small packages, because that is so you. And the good things. So I want to come back. Yes, we were in the Hamptons. One of my favorite social media posts, and actually got more posts than and views than any other one during the year. If I wanted to say and put something out that I had a cure for cancer, I would have 2 people that would go ahead and make a comment. Myself and my partner, Dr. Jim, maybe, and no one else. Now, this is still going around tens of thousands of views. What did I do? I did a quick video. I said, Dr. Jim and I are going to be at the Hamptons, not the Hampton Inn. And that's all I said on the post. It was just a nonsense post. And it was such just a spur of the moment thing. We're in the Hamptons on this yacht. And if you know my background, ladies and gentlemen, know that I'm a classically trained vocal musician. I've done a lot of theater, and there was a beautiful comic comedy thing that I did a long time ago. Said, funny thing happened on the way to the forum. Well, the funny thing happened on the way to the restroom, because I met you. I was on the way to the restroom, and then all of a sudden, this blonde energy, curly, everything hair on this yacht, and there you were. And I went, whoa, I forgot, Dr. Jim was behind me. I forgot that I even needed to go and find the ladies' room. That's what I remember about you. I just went, whoa, what am I doing here? What do you remember? What a glorious meeting.
It really was. I remember turning around, and I actually felt it was almost a spiritual feeling. Like, it was amazing. It was like, wow, who is this? I got to get to know her. And it wasn't like, and then I came up and said, hi, I'm Debs Simpson. It's such a pleasure to meet you. What is your name? Et cetera. And we just had a tremendous conversation. We bonded instantly. And I told you things that I probably don't tell anybody in the world, because it was, it was that kind of very tight connection. And we've been so close since. And, we've got a similar mindset. Let's work on the health of mankind. Let's make a
Yes.
difference, which
And I mean, and it was like, for me, I'm on the way to the restroom. There you were. I was ready to go on stage to speak at this, this beautiful outdoor venue at this lovely mansion, getting ready up. Then all of a sudden, there you were, and you're sitting down next to me, and there were no seats available. That's when this is one of my often quoted quotes. And doesn't this just fit? Miracles occur every day. Beckon them in. I believe you were beckoned into my life, Debs.
And I believe the same thing too. I have a very strong faith, growing up as a Christian, and it's incredibly powerful. But my dad died of heart failure. Okay. And so when this business came along, which would have just basically fell into the dust. Okay. And it's just technology.
And you picked it up out of the dust. I think this is a perfect time. Let's take a look, take a feel, take a listen to this beautiful company, this beautiful brainchild that's not in the dust. It's active, growing, has a heartbeat, like it's heart month, the one of a kind, just like use radiotherapy to scissor things out and to do surgery. It's a scissor radio frequency. Well, this is the one of a kind preventative heart diagnostic tool that is being spearheaded by this one-of-a-kind woman. If you've just joined us, you have the absolute privilege to hear from CEO, IPO, and just corporate queen, CEO, COO, Debs Simpson of SeeMedX. Let's take a look, take a feel, take a listen about SeeMedX.
We are in the middle of a healthcare crisis. Heart failure attacks kill 500,000 people every year in the United States due to lack of early intervention.
One of those people that died was my father of heart failure. Many of these deaths can be prevented through our new non-invasive incredible technology that will monitor and tell you 72 hours before you have heart failure.
The current solution to invasively monitor fluids and blood flow is very expensive, dangerous, painful, and often not approved by insurance companies.
SeeMedX is the only company that has the technology that can change the way heart failure is managed and convert it from being a clinic and hospital-based treatment plan to a home-based treatment plan. We can do for heart failure what Dexcom did for diabetes, and that is giving patients more granular and instantly available information about their medical condition, allowing them to more precisely manage their disease.
So I also think it's important for patients to be involved in their disease state and making sure that everything is optimal in terms of their overall management. So a product like SeeMedX is rather patient-friendly, something that can be done in a non-invasive, relatively easy-to-use manner in which we can get the information that will be important to have a significant input on overall improvement in quality of life.
So one of the indirect benefits of our technology is it'll allow hospitals to minimize and reduce the number of readmissions for heart failure, for which there's a substantial financial penalty. Every patient that's readmitted within 30 days of a prior admission for the same problem carries this, and it multiplies as the readmissions continue.
The company has obtained several patents giving SeeMedX a competitive advantage. Our top competitor has a 0.61 gold standard correlation. SeeMedX, a 0.93 gold standard correlation.
It's great inventions like this with our SeeMedX incredible team of doctors that will make a difference and give you a happy heart.
For more information regarding SeeMedX, go to SeeMedX.com.
I just love this happy heart. And you just did a splendid job of this video. You feel it, you know it, but I want our listeners and those that are watching this, maybe at the repeat. And like I said, it is Deb's company that she is now taking to the stratosphere is called SeeMedX, and you can find it here. And of course, find her information, see how you can get involved and be a part of this cutting edge technology, SeeMedX.com. So Debs, so you come in, it was going into the dust. What did you do to revive it?
Unfortunately, the president had passed away. Okay, passed away young, and it was sitting there, and no one knew anything. So I had a friend in New York that said, "Will you go help me with this company in Las Vegas?" Well, Las Vegas, that's kind of fun. And I said, first of all, I don't have time. But then he said, you're going to make time because you love me. And I've said, well, yep, you're right. I have known you for a long time, and I'm happy to get in there and help. And so I went in. The technology would blow you away. Keep in mind, it was developed through Johns Hopkins, Carnegie Mellon, Drexel, and University of Michigan, the top scientists and professors throughout the United States. It is not
No, I was just going to interject there. You saw this video. Everyone, it wasn't like somebody was just, there's nothing wrong with being a used car salesman or having a dry cleaners, but these were MDs, these were DRs that were standing behind with all of that. Johns Hopkins, they had all the absolute brilliant minds. How did it, just because this CEO died at such an early age and nobody knew what to do with it?
And nobody knew what to do. And that's actually the problem with most technologies. That's what I've dedicated my life to do, is helping mankind by, helping mankind get the proper medical treatment. Now think about this just in Africa. And I have worked with the Princess of Nigeria, which we all know.
Yes.
And it's so important because they have remote areas. How is heart failure treated today? It's a hospital disease. Okay. They tell you with a scale to go home and stand on a scale. And when your weight changes by 2 to 3 pounds, come back in and get readmitted. Okay. The standard treatment today is, I always use this one example of a person named Bill. He came into our office.
But wait a minute. So you're just supposed to look at the scale. You go down by a little bit of weight. That means that your heart is failing?
Or a lot. It means that your body's starting to accumulate fluid. Okay. And that's a precursor. We have 15 biometrics.
Yes.
It's a biomedical company. Okay. And as the cells, inside the cells, fluid changes.
Yeah. With the edema. Okay.
It picks it up from an early perspective, 72 hours before you have a heart failure attack. 72 hours before.
Technology. So it's not like after the fact care, you have a heart attack, you get into the hospital, and then they have to do, this is picking it up 72 hours before. Think about, ladies and gentlemen, because we're going to have a little bit, because Debs needs money to do this, because good people that say, are you the one out there to look at this money, to go ahead and say, I have money to advance this technology? Think of the lives that are saved. And we'll get to Princess and what you're doing with us, of course, in Africa. So this is Bill. Tell me about Bill.
Bill came into our office and he said, I had a heart attack like many people do. And they were in the hospital all week. And he said, I left the hospital. He said, but I'm just fine. And I just left my cardiologist's office. Do you know how many times I've heard I just left my cardiology office? And he or she says, I'm absolutely fine. Okay. And so, of course, I have engineers there. So they see a guinea pig. They're all excited. They can't wait to put this, human on the machine. And came back where his cardiac output, and we can do ejection fraction, cardiac output, ZO, which is fluid status, all non-invasively. Okay. It's not a little issue. It's taking a $45,000 inserted technology into your body, dangerous, expensive, and changing it. Now, people said you should charge a lot more. No, $100. Okay. $100.
Because you want to keep it affordable so everybody can have, you want to keep it like it's for mankind, like you said. And when they say heart attacks are silent killers, people don't think until it's after the fact.
Well, keep in mind, heart attack, heart failure is different from heart attacks. I mean, it creates a heart attack.
Yeah,
it's hard.
You cut out a little bit. What was that? Can you repeat? It was just the internet wave. Can you say that again about heart attack?
Oh. Heart attacks are going to happen. The person are walking around healthy. Okay. So you're not going to be able to detect heart attacks. Okay. But when you have the first one, if you have heart failure, which is 6.7 million people in the US, okay, think about it. Their families, you add a family of 5, you're talking about 20% of the US population are affected by this. It is a huge deal. We're taking this hospital-treated disease and turning it into a home health issue. Okay, so in advance, the cardiologist will warn, hey, Bill and John are fine, but that Peggy, she's got her body starting to change. And it's not like it may happen, it's going to happen. Your body's telling you in advance it's going to happen. And keep in mind, they go in, they don't have to go to the hospital. They go in, they change the medication, they adjust the fluid, they may have to put some off, they have to put some on with an IV, and they can make all these changes and prevent. Now, my father had 5 heart attacks. Each time the heart was seriously damaged, and he died in his 60s. Very painful, very young. We don't have to have that. We want people live a lot longer. Now they have shorter lives because the damage to the heart every time they have an attack. And we are going to prevent those from happening. And throughout the world, this is not a little problem. This is a worldwide issue. Those invasive procedures cost $40,000. Okay.
And a lot of people get, so you have a heart attack, then you have heart failure, then you have another episode, there's more heart failure, and it's cumulative. And this is a really great time. Now let's take a commercial break with something that I believe that is really, like we said, parallel. I was very honored to be one of the chief formulators of this product. I'm hoping that you're going to come back. I'm going to take you off screen because you're frozen. I'm not sure why, Debs, but I will say that our beautiful, beautiful situation with Vibra 360, Ganoderma, reishi mushroom, it works because the Ganoderma, along with heart failure, so you've got this home health thing, and you got your cup of coffee, all in one fell swoop. So let's take a listen to one of our sponsors, Vibra 360. Vibra 360. You can see it on the bottom. You go to my website, drjodee.com. Put in Vibra. It's there. I only endorse products that work, and I only endorse beautiful people that work too. So you're much better. Now you're unfrozen. I knew it would work. So we took a little break. So Debs, the idea, only $100. How is this company going to make money? If it's
mostly software.
It's mostly
software. And keep in mind, it's 15 to 20 years of research. Okay, so it's not, many companies have tried and failed. Baxter bought a company called Cheetah, and they bought it for $230 million. And the most accurate it could get was 61% at the highest level. So doctors deemed a coin flip. It was a total flop. We are 93% accurate. And let me tell you why. Because those universities that helped us out went to all the diabetic patients, okay, and found out what the noise within the body is and how you can eliminate them by mathematics. I'm a mathematician, absolutely love it. And so they basically looked at every disease states, okay, they looked at cancer, and in our algorithms, they adjust accordingly for the disease states.
So
okay?
I'm going to ask you to do, Deb, I'm going to ask you to do something, because you go a million miles an hour when you talk, because you are so intelligent. But we're having a little bit of a delay. So if you will slow this down, because I really want our audience to get this, that your competition, which was Baxter, what is their success rate?
They just rebranded it Cheetah. It was, and they rebranded it. It was so bad as Starling. Okay, now keep in mind we have a pre-FDA. Okay, so anybody that wants to tell the FDA to get this out there, because there's no other treatment, there's no way you can get an advance warning. I had a shock on the I had a doctor, David Perez. I don't know if anyone knows, brilliant in health. That's what he focuses on. And I had him on the phone, and he would say, "You can do EF, which is ejection fraction, which is whatever the pressures of a Swan-Ganz catheter create these parameters that are recognized by all doctors." Okay, but getting that information, he was like, "You can't do that." He said, "Nobody can do that." I said, "Well, yes, can. It's 93% accurate." And he was just like,
don't tell Deb Simpson. Don't tell Deb.
He said, "I'll take 50."
Don't tell Deb Simpson she can't do something. Don't say no, because she's going to be the can-do woman for sure. So 93% accuracy, and I think and how many patents did they say in your video? How many patents do you have on that?
Oh, to be perfectly blunt, I should know. But overall, I mean, there's some very large ones, the indications of use. Keep in mind, we're in the FDA now, so anyone has to call the FDA and beat them up, because they need to be beat up, because this has got to be in it. It'll save lives every day. I mean, Bill was, I can't tell you the number of people. Oh, I didn't finish Bill's story, did I?
No,
Anyhow,
let's go back to Bill. Let's go back to Bill and just and what I was going to say is just make sure that because we're having a little issue with the audio. You can see that you're a little fuzzy. So just and that's really hard for us to do, to sit still. But give those guys. I want to hear. Let's hear about Bill, shall we?
We put him on the test, and he didn't have enough blood flow in his CO and his cardiac output to even support his body. And so we said, "Bill, we're calling a text, we're going to the hospital." He said, "No, my cardiologist says I'm fine. I'm fine." And I said, "Bill, I'm telling you right now, you're not fine." 3-level bypass within an hour. Okay. This man would have not lived 24 hours. And I can tell you, I can tell you, I probably met 30 people that have the same experience, where they go in and doctors say they're fine because it's too expensive, it's time consuming, and more important, the doctors are right, because it's very dangerous. Okay, we're not invasive. You put a piece of tape on the chest, and it's done in less than 5 minutes.
It's a long white Band-Aid, or like a white strip that you, from here to there. You saw it on the video. The white strip, that's just like something you would put a white strip on the wall for unpacking tape or something, or painting. Exactly. It's right there. And didn't you have an experience? A cardiologist was there and watched this. What did he say?
He was so funny, because in Florida, Jupiter Medical Center, brilliant cardiologist, Dr. Agarwal, he's one of our board advisors. And he said, "I want to see this. And I've gone through all these tests this week for one of my patients, and I'd like to put the device on and see how you compare," because it took me forever, hours and hours and hours, to figure out how I was going to change his medication, because I had to basically guess, and they do guess. No matter what anyone says for heart failure attacks, they guess, okay, on what to do and how to do it, how to prevent it.
Okay, so did you say they guess?
They guess. Oh yeah, they have to, because they're not going to put a Swan.
Not guessed as in hotel. They guess. GUESS. Yeah. They guess. That should be enough to get somebody said, "This is cutting edge technology." Contact Deb through SeeMedX. If you have a plan and you've got a company that's got money that you want to be behind something, would you rather have something that works 93%, or you guess? Okay, keep going.
Okay, so and all those people, one man came to me and said, "My doctors, the hospital, everybody told me I'm just fine." He said, "But my daughter says I have to, go to the specialty clinic somewhere." So they went to the specialty clinic, went through a week of studies, and they came back and he had to have a 5-level bypass. 5-level bypass. Do you know how painful that is? Do you know how dangerous it is? You know how close to death that person was?
And I can just say with this, being a holistic practitioner, what they do is they saw your sternum. Okay. Yeah. They saw open your sternum. So your chakras will never, the connection, the alignment, your chakra connection, your frequency, your energy will never be the same. So what do you want to do?
You want advance warning, you know, and it's you want to know this. And they could contact the FDA, tell them to get their butts in court and get this thing approved, because it is going to help mankind. It's going to save so many lives.
So let's go back into this. So you find out you've got the tape. It's going to save lives. So when a doctor, and they're great, and cardiologists, doctors have expertise with this. What do they do with, you've got somebody that's had the SeeMedX diagnosis, the 72 hours prior, not going to have to go and have the invasive procedure. What is this doctor able to do that he couldn't do or she couldn't do prior with this diagnostic technique?
Well, they can do it. I mean, they can guess, and they can do a lot of tests to be very educated guess. But the doctor that we were telling you about in Florida, he actually knew this patient, and so we put it on his patient, and he's looking, and he and this is taking less than 5 minutes, and he's looking at it, and he said, "This just proved what I did. All my work was just solved in less than 5 minutes," and he was it was exact. It was exact. And it was actually really exciting. He's looking at me like, what you said is really true. And
it's the precision, it's the time efficiency, and then you've got the situation that they can be more precise than they were just by guessing. You want to guess or be precise? That's pretty easy.
Well, time too, though. Think about all the time he spent analyzing his echo, and that's expensive procedure. And it's time to go here, do this test, go here, do this test, you know, and figure it all out. He said, "You just solved my problem." He said, he had the cardiac output, the ejection fraction, and the ZL fluid status. And he knew exactly what to do. And he was just like, oh, and he's okay, I'll be your board advisor.
Well, and when you get that kind of clout, when you get that kind of movement, things will happen, and it's happening. I'm so excited for those of you that are in Florida, are seeing this broadcast, to make sure that you reach out to SeeMedX, reach out to Deb. She's going to be back here in Palm Beach next week. So that's why we're doing this broadcast, so you can hear more about this. So if you feel her heart, you feel your passion, we will have something to go on. And that was that kind of back to our connection. Let's just kind of flip the switch a bit. And here we are. It was one of those calls, because we connected on a spiritual level. There was no doubt in my mind. And it was such an amazing, amazing conversation. It was one of my times down the turnpike to do some kind of work. And we just had a talk, and I'm going, oh, here's my exit. It was one of those. And I'm so grateful that I reached out to you, that we could be together in Dubai. So you're just going to have to put up with this, ladies and gentlemen. I got a couple of pictures. So here we are in Dubai with our sensible shoes and all, First Ladies Forum, and with the princess. And I think this is a beautiful way to pick up that you took this, because that's what you do. You were just an amazing guest on my panel. I was absolutely honored that, and yes, I'm going to put this back up in just a moment, because here we were with our little scarves, oops, I didn't get this with the green screen. It decided to go away. I will get it somewhere.
We're getting closer.
Economic Development Forum. And we had a time in Dubai. And so, you were a beautiful panelist. We had a great conversation about SeeMedX and what you plan to do. And what was your motivation to come and be with us in Dubai? What was behind that, Deb? I'd love to hear.
Yeah, I believe awareness. Awareness of the problem, and how we, I'm a founder of the Worldwide Entrepreneurs United group, and it's all about helping each other. It's not about money. It's about, let's help mankind. Let's make a difference in their lives. And I always say, let's get to the heart of what really matters. And that's what really matters. People. And not sitting while your father's in the hospital for 6 months, which is, and as my kids will say, as in the olden days when I was growing up.
Right. And there will be another First Ladies Forum April 20th to 24th in Qatar, Doha, Qatar. Join us. These are leading ladies in business, technology, health, and government that they will make a difference. And you certainly were the first lady of the heart, and we had a great time. What was your experience? I love this picture. This country was as big, the Burj Al Sharif. What was your experience? And all of a sudden, we're at this hotel. When you saw this Sphinx, wasn't that bigger than life at the Rami Dream Hotel?
Yes. No, I mean, Qatar, I mean, frankly, it was the Middle East. It was my first time in the Middle East, and I was a little nervous because, I know their various cultures are very different, and I was nervous. And I went there, and Dubai is amazing. That's all I can say. Is it was, between the mall was like unreal. We actually got to go up in the tower, which is the world's tallest building. And we actually even got to go to some of the apartments in that building also because we were with the princess. And Dubai is a gorgeous people, gorgeous country. And I can't say enough about it. I really enjoyed it. And I told my husband we should buy this.
I mean, really, it was beautiful. So let's just give us a little bit of a feel. Yeah. That was the lineup, and we will have the same more expansive lineup this April when we go back to Doha with the rest of the story with our First Ladies Forum. So you can reach out to me. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to Debs. Certainly on this website, you will see Healthopedia 365. If you really want to make a difference on the world stage, we will be there. Speaking of which, I think we're going to be there. I think we have some kind of an event we're going to soon in Aruba. Is that not the? Are you ready to go down and hear? Oh my goodness gracious! Yes, there we go. I don't know why I'm going to remove you when we do this video. I usually don't have a little issue with the internet, but it's okay. So, are you ready to join us? Where? In Aruba, we're going to learn how with awareness, yes, but more than that, it's alignment. When you have the right people at the right time, this is we should say a twice yearly upgrade for you. We were in Crete in September. Now we're back in Aruba in March. It will be amazing. And why are we doing this? We're doing this because when you do better and feel better, everything just pops. That's the way that works. So ready to pop with us? Let's take a look, take a feel, take a listen.
Aruba, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take you.
Let's just stop at the first destination. Aruba. A rich blend of indigenous, African, and European influences. Feel the origins of the Arawak people, encompassing the island's art and tradition. Feel your awareness and alignment unfold as you connect with your ultimate version of healthy living. Lose yourself in the white sand beaches, warm Caribbean breezes, and the landscape known as the Windy Rock. Awareness, alignment, abundance. Find all these and more in Aruba.
Aruba, Aruba, ooh, I wanna take you. Aruba, Aruba, ooh, I wanna take you. Aruba, Aruba, ooh.
There we go. There we go. How excited are you to know that we're going to make a difference together in Aruba?
I'm so excited because it's the connection that we have here is holistic. Okay? A lot of plastics and chemicals and the holistic way is powerful. And if you just learn one thing, how you can help your heart, maybe I don't know what the answers are because you have to go to Dr. Jody because she's the expert here. And so the physical, the emotional, helping your mind, and it's about you. You want to come to Aruba because you want to help yourself and help understand, and then you can teach other people as you go. It's I'm very, very excited about it. It should be not only a good time, but very educational and help my overall body. And I think I get the Oprah Prize for going up and down in my weight. And so,
Oh, I did not know that. So that, good for you. And the idea is that with Aruba and this type of thing, when you know better, you do better. And when you can get into your core, as we say, this is our official logo. I was just going to show it to you today because see, Aruba is in the center because as they say in the secret, as within, so without, to these dynamics. And so without, you come within. As above, so below. As below, so above. You will be at the center of Aruba. I'm very proud of that. I think it's beautiful, don't you? Tell me yes.
Oh, no, absolutely. I think the whole program itself is, it doesn't matter what it costs, okay? Because the reality is it is so powerful to help a person as themselves, to really make a difference in their lives and the lives of the people around them. Because I'm always husband into these things.
And lining up. So make sure that you go ahead and go to SeeMedX. You can find all Deb's information here. And of course, you can go and find her then on LinkedIn. I'm going to put this on the ticker, and you can get more information on what she does in the social media world out there. I can truthfully say that with this more than anything, you put, there we go, their LinkedIn information, Deborah-Symptoms. Just go to LinkedIn, Deborah-Simpson. And when you think about it, what we're going to be able to do together, we are better together. And that's what I feel about you. I was looking through everything and just thinking about Dame Doria Cordova, who will be one of our guests. The Money and You has the longest running experiential, one of its kind symposium, 45 years, 250,000 graduates will be there on the financial pillar of success. You will love her, Deb. And then we've got Dr. Kim Erickson, who will be speaking on the emotional pillar, a world-renowned naturopath. And of course, Dr. Jim Marinakis is the facilitator. I'm the coordinator. But then you've got Sir Dr. Antoine Chevalier. Goodness gracious, White House doctor. He was my guest on Life's Milkshake Moment in November. I think we broke the internet. You broke my record. We were on for 2.5 hours going through it. And I said, yes, all just come to get a dose of Chevalier. It's chocolat, as we would say, chocolat, croissant, champagne, and Chevalier. White House doctor for 22 years is going to take us through his hydro practitioner energy medicine. So it is something, and talking about energy, what you brought here, but I've got one little last surprise before we wound this up. Here we are. This is my favorite picture. It's us kissing, because that to me, you can be akin to people, but you can't fake real. And that to me just says everything about the two of us. We were connected at first. I didn't make it to the bathroom stop before I met you. Experience and listen. We were absolutely stuck like glue. And I think what you're doing, Debs, not only what you're going to be doing and what you are doing in process with the princess in Africa, bringing this technology in an affordable way to people that can be a part. $100 or an invasive procedure. People can't afford that. See, it's going to change the landscape of medicine because you're doing it now. But this, Dame Doria, this was Buckminster Fuller's famous quote. And he said, I don't know why this didn't go. We're having some, I think it's StreamYard. It's not you and I. We've just got too much frequency. Didn't you say at one time that you actually broke computers like
I didn't
months? Yes. But this quote is Buckminster Fuller's: to make this world work for 100% of humanity in the shortest possible time through spontaneous cooperation without ecological offense or the disadvantage of everyone. That is you, Debs. That is so you with this technology. What you're doing, one of a kind, because it is your passion, and it probably is just that you've got so much energy. It doesn't know what to do with all of you on the internet. But if you were just to sum this up about your technology with an ask, what does this company need next to say that we can bring the most to humanity without any ecological or invasion from any, and make it work for 100% of humanity, like Buckminster Fuller said? What would be your ask, and how can people be involved?
I believe that we funding, because then we can expedite the home product, expedite many of our products, and I can tell you that these products are absolutely needed, by not just the U.S. I've been all over the world talking about it, okay? Because we don't have the final FDA, we are waiting on that, and it should happen within the next 12 months. But it's about the significant difference it'll make in saving 20% of our population is affected just in the U.S. And the U.S.
percent. What can you do to make a difference?
Exactly. And I think that's what we're all about. I mean, I have a team of passionate people, incredible people, and the funding. I'm very confident from a spiritual perspective will be there. It has to be there, because investors understand, and they're good people, and they I mean, how many times do you get shipped to the hospital after you're told you're fine? Okay, by every cardiologist, because they don't have technology yet.
Well, you know what FINE stands for? I'm not going to say the word because it's bad, but effed up, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. Mm-hmm. That's what FINE means. You're not fine.
I love that. I love it.
You're not fine. Okay. So now you can really get fine. And I want to, because Robert Towns, I just want to give our video guy and you'll get to meet him in Aruba. I want to show this amazing video. He put this together in 24 hours. And if you need work done, you talk about a miracle show. This is Robert Towns, Titan Productions with a Z, because he named it after his son. Let's just take one more glimpse, because we're going to be there before you know it we're going to see each other in 7 weeks there, but I'm going to see you next week in Palm Beach. So let's just take a reprise, shall we?
Let's just stop at the first destination. Aruba. A rich blend of indigenous, African, and European influences. Feel the origins of the Arawak people, encompassing the island's art and tradition. Feel your awareness and alignment unfold as you connect with your ultimate version of healthy living. Lose yourself in the white sand beaches, warm Caribbean breezes, and the landscape known as the Windy Rock. Awareness, alignment, abundance. Find all these and more in Aruba.
And there we are. I thank you, Robert Towns, for doing your magic once again so quickly. I blink and it's done because Robert, that I've known for nearly a decade now, he just epitomizes when you want to go fast, go alone. When you want to go far, go with a team. But if you want to go fast and far, you do it with the right people. And when you said, you kind of glossed over that, Debs, you've got 12 months for financing to be out there. Guess what? After that, the opportunity for investment will be less. So if you feel like Deb's the right person, because she's multiple IPOs, she consults with these companies. She's an expert. Arthur Andersen, Procter & Gamble, you name it. You know, she just blew through that like she's going to be blowing down the turnpike here on 95, going from Palm Beach to wherever. That's just what she does. And being with her expertise and the people that she brought along with it, because you truly epitomize, Deb, my quote in our second book, to immerse yourself in the flow of who you are and how you are becoming. I am so grateful that you've been with me on this journey for not, I guess, 6 months. It doesn't seem like forever?
Forever.
Because
like my sister, it's somebody just bonded, and we're combined to really make a difference throughout.
In this world.
And I'd like to just add, it's not my past experience that matters. It's what we do together in the future, because it's about helping save lives and not have the pain and suffering of families that have to go through heart failure.
Yes, and loss and everything else, to have abundance so there's awareness, just like our thing with that, our tagline with Aruba, we'll have abundance. You're going to be aligned with the right product to make a difference. And certainly because you are now aware of this leading edge technology. So make sure that you go to SeeMedX.com. Make sure you go and see Deb there. And we are going to be running the globe with kisses everywhere, not only in Palm Beach. Aruba will be back in Qatar, then in April, and who knows in points beyond what we'll be doing with the princess in Africa. So stay tuned. We've talked about the princess a lot. It's President's Day on Monday, but what better thing on President's Day to bring a newly coronated queen of Nigeria? Yes, Princess Moradian Okolana, Her Royal Highness herself will be here. We're going to take a reprise of everything we've done in 25 and to look at what we're going to go forward, as you said, Deb, in the future. So as we wind this beautiful time together, what is your last piece of wisdom that you would like to share with our audience?
I would say, look at natural health. Look at the natural and holistic environment, because there's a lot of things out there that can hurt you. And it's all about knowledge, awareness, and making a difference.
Yes, because then you see that with your knowledge. SeeMedX. I know from my heart to yours as we do. So put your hand on your heart with your left hand, please, if you could do, and you feel your heart beating, but put your right hand over your left. Your heart beats stronger. And that, Debs Simpson, is what you do for me and what you're doing for mankind. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being a guest. You were truly the entire ice cream, whipped cream, and the cherry on top of life's milkshake moment.
Well, you're always there with the cherry on top, Jody. I really appreciate it. So thank you so much. I appreciate the time and the audience. And let's stay with the heart of everything that matters.
We'll stay to the heart, and to the heart that really matters. So until next time, see us Monday at 12 noon with Princess Moradian Okolana, the newly crowned Queen of Nigeria, as we see where we've gone in 25, but where we're going to go in 2026. And until next time, as we say, in each and every day, make it a great healthopedia kind of day. Ciao for now.
Woman up, up, up.